Hello friends, ever wondered how Java stores information? Well, meet Java variables, the little containers that hold your data like a pro. So in this video, I will be telling you about what are the real world examples of Java variables. So think of them like boxes, you label them, put stuff in, and Java remembers where you kept it. Where it holds numbers, it holds tags, it holds true or false. But be careful, mixing variable type is like mixing coffee and lemonade. You don't wanna do that. So stay tuned as we dive into Java variables example. I will be telling you all the things about Java variables, and we will be also seeing that if we are working with an example of these Java variables, so actually what we are creating and how we are working with Java variables as an example. So we will be learning each and everything about Java variables with examples here. So I hope you'll be enjoying this video. So you have to smash that like button if you enjoy this, and if you're new on this channel, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing hit notification bell so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I'll be uploading on this channel. So now what we are waiting for? Let's dive into it. So now here we are on the computer screen, and like I've told you in the start that today in this video we will be learning about Java variables with examples, because we have already learned about Java variables in detail in our previous videos, and I hope you enjoyed that. But in this video I will be telling you that if we are using Java variables with example, or if we are creating any small program using Java variables here, so how we can do that. So now moving on to the real life examples of Java variables. So often in our example we simplify variable names to match their data type, my init or my num for init types, my char or for char types, and so on. This is done to avoid confusion, and this is the same thing like if we are working with real life example of Java variables. So obviously we need to simplify some variable names to match their data type, and my init or my num is for init type and my char for char types, and it moves so on. So this is done to avoid confusion, and this is the simple thing which we have understand now. So if we understand for a practical example, however, for our practical example of using variables, we have created a program that stores different data about a college student. Means using Java variables we have created one small program. You can also say it as an example which we have created, an example small program, so that you can have a good understanding that if we are using Java variable in any program, so how we can use it, and basically if we are using it, so what output we are getting and how it's running. So we'll be understanding all the things here in this example. So if I show you here, we have first of all created a comment which says student data, and this string and these init types and this float chart, these all things store the student data. The first student data we have written is like student name, and the student name is John Doe. You can give any name to the student if we are creating this program. And then I have written the student ID as 15, student age as 23, student fee as 75.25. You can give any student fee you want. Then you can give student grade as well. You can give A, B, C, or you can give F as well if you want to fail the student, you can do that. So now if we move down and if we understand about these variables, now I have written the comment as print variables, means that we have created this student data, and now we are printing this student data using these print variables like println here. We are using same print variables every time, but the inside thing which we have written in our print variable is different. Like here we have written student name plus student name, so we have printed string plus integer, and then we have also printed again string plus, you can say, variable. So you can just do same thing again and again, so that you can print string and variable one time, and then when you run these all things, so you will be getting the output as printed which you have written in your variables which you are printing here. And that's the way to print this thing, and I hope you understand how we are doing it. Now if you want to calculate the area of rectangle, which is really important, so we need to highlight this. So in this real life example we will be creating a program to calculate the area of rectangle by multiplying the length and width, and we are multiplying length and width using these Java variables here. And the first variable which I am using is integer. So this integer variable help us to multiply or to calculate the length, width, and length, height as well. So we are calculating length and width here, so that's why we will be creating one integer called init length, in which I will be writing the value as 4. You can give any of number value you want. Then in init width I have written the value as 6. You can also give here any value you want to, but I have written 6. Then I have written init area, so that I can calculate the area of length and width which I want to calculate. Then you can give a comment here as calculate the area of a rectangle, so you have a good understanding that you are using length and width to calculate the area of a rectangle. So I will be writing area as a variable, then I'll be writing equal to length multiplied by width. So now this area will be multiplying 4 and 6 together, and 4 and 6 is like, obviously if you are printing 6 multiplied by 4, so it's 20. So when you will be printing these all things, you will be getting output as 20 when you will be printing this area of the rectangle is. So this is the way to print all these things and to print the answer of length multiplied by width like we are writing. But remember, when you are like multiplying these all things here, so you need to create their variables as well, like we are creating here at the top. So this is really important to do, so that you can multiply both things with area variable and you can get the output in your terminal or using print variables which you are using here, and that's the way to do. So I hope you understand how we are calculating the area of a rectangle and how we are getting the output. Now we have to understand all these things in our Java IDE. So I will be opening my NetBeans IDE, because like you all know that in the previous Java tutorials as well, we were just using this NetBeans IDE as our default text editor for Java or for using Java. You can use some online IDE as well, like Replit or any other. And there are some other offline IDEs which you can use, like PyCharm. Then you can use Android Studio, you can use Sublime Text, you can use Atom. These are some IDE which you can use. But I think the best IDE for Java is this NetBeans, because Android Studio is just used to create application, all those. But if you are using this IDE, which is NetBeans, you can just create small programs using it like you create in Python. So what I'm going to do is I will be just removing these all things here which we have written, because now we will be just adding our own things, or you can say our own codes here, so that we can create a small program of student data which I have shown you here. So I will be simply copying this thing here, and if I just paste these all things, you can just see simply we have created these all things. So I will be selecting these all things from here, and I'll be pressing tab, so that we can have a space after every line which we are just adding here. So like this, I will be making all the things in one line, so that you should be not having any confusion or any problem with any of the codes which we are writing. So like this, I will be taking all the things in one line. You can just see we have done this thing here. Now what I'm going to do is I will be just running this file here to check if I'm running these all things, or if I'm running this small student data program. So what output I'm getting here. So for running, you need to just move to your main.java file, or you can say main.java class, and you have to press right click here and you have to press run file. You can also press shift and F6 to run this thing, but I will be pressing run file here so that I can get the output. So I will be pressing run file. After pressing run file, you can just see we are getting student name as John Doe, then we are getting student ID as 15, student age as 23, student fee as 75.25 which we have written, and then student grade as B. So if I change here the grade, if I change the grade B to grade A, so now when I will be running, I will be getting the grade A here, you can just see, and we are just getting output printed successfully, means these all things are working. And this is the way to print all these things here using Java variables. And I hope you understand if we are working with Java variables with examples. So actually how we are using Java variables with example, and how we are getting the output when we are using same thing with example here. Now this is the first example which we have understand by creating this small student data program. And now if we want to calculate the area of rectangle, so how we can do that? Simply we have also created the example of that, in which we have created some integer variables, and then we have created the area variable and print variable to calculate the area of rectangle. So I will be copying these all things here, and I will be commenting out this thing, because now we have totally understood that how we can create one small program using these all variables here in Java. So I will be now pasting all these things here. So you can just see we have pasted all these things, and we are getting all these things which we want to get. And now you can just take all these things in one line, so that when you will be running these all things, you should be not getting anything like confused about. So I will be just taking all these things in one line like this. And now when I've done these all things, I will be simply running it. And for running, I will be pressing right click on my main.java file again, like I was just doing when we were just working on this student data program. And I will be just running this file by pressing shift plus F6 you can do, or you can just press run file as well. So I'll be simply pressing run file, and now the length we are getting is 4, width we are getting is 6, and the area of the rectangle we are getting is 24. And that's the way to print all these things and to get the output. So I hope you totally understand that if we are running all these things, if we are calculating the area of rectangle, so how we are getting the output and how we are getting all these things printed. So if you have just understood these all things, and if you understood that how we are using Java variables with examples. So remember to hit a like to this video, and if you're new on this channel, want to see more videos like this, so remember to subscribe, and after subscribing, hit notification bell as well, so you can get the notifications of all my coming up videos which I will be uploading in future. So now I will be meeting you in next tutorial or in next project using Java. So for today, goodbye.